Ain't working. Well, I'll announce the game, even though I know the live stream's not on. Well, here's Fort Erie right off the bat, the Jihad El Khatib opening dunk. Fort Erie in black jerseys with red and white trim, hometown Orangeville in white and black. And there's a long three from Zach Walker, and I think the live stream just started, which is good. All right. Well, I'm Chris McKee. Appreciate you tuning in. OSBA men's action right now, more than likely the number one team in the country. Fort Erie comes in at 7-0 in OSBA play against Orangeville Provincial at 0-6. This is David versus Goliath here at the Athlete Institute in Mono, Ontario. So right off the bat, Jihad El Khatib with a quick dunk to give Fort Erie a 2-0 lead. David Bottomley guarded by Chris Kumu. Zach Walker out to Bottomley. Shot clock at 7. Pulls up. Little floater. Doesn't drop for Bottomley. Tipped out of bounds. Still should be Orangeville ball, and it is. So coming into this game, Fort Erie already with 4 NCAA commits, 2 of them out due to injury. One, Christian Nitu, not playing, he's committed to Indiana State. And then Olivier Faubert, the Wyoming commit, broke his foot a couple weeks ago playing against Prolific Prep in grind session action. And so he's going to be out for a significant period, stolen. And then Chris Kumu, electric. I say he's the best athlete in the country, playing basketball anyways. And there's Kumu. Okay. Corner 3, Cassidy Garrick missed. Here's Kumu now. And then down the other way, ooh, and then hard to the ground, Charrier. And he's up, no problem. So Char, that's not a shooting foul? No foul called. There is a push in the back, yeah. Are we shooting free throws? We are shooting free throws, so there we go. So Char was a BioSteel. The next one's player had the chance to interview him after the game. This dude has got some future. One of the class of 2025, I mentioned 4 NCAA commits in the class of 2024. I think Fort Erie's class of 2025 group might be more talented. You got Charrier at the free throw line, 6'9", 6'10", out of London, Ontario. Mario Lekuntak, another 6'10" guy. Chris Kumu, the electric guard who just got that dunk. 6-0, Fort Erie. Walker to Bottomley, and Bottomley misses. And Kumu comes away with it. Jihad El Khatib inside to Ye, doesn't go, and the follow, Braden Jackson. Jackson, one of the 2024s who's yet to commit. He does have some interest from Buffalo, Arkansas State, Sam Houston State, Stonehill. Actually watched Arkansas State on TV last night. They got run over by Alabama, but still, alas, on a national ESPN and CSN broadcast. I believe that's where Taryn Todd is, former Vaughn player, former OSBA guy, and then played down in Arizona. It's another kid from Toronto. And he's on Arkansas State now, well-traveled. Started out at TCU. Then transferred to, was it New Mexico or New Mexico State? One of the two. Went to JUCO for a year, and now over at Arkansas State. So let's hope Braden Jackson not that well-traveled when he finally makes his commitment. No doubt we'll get a look somewhere in the NCAA. So Fort Erie, I did the play-by-play for their game against Roll Crown in the OSBA championship game. Came up short, but they returned their entire lineup from that squad. Remember, Roll Crown lost a bunch of guys to the NCAA. And so I believe Fort Erie, this version of Fort Erie, is the best high school prep team in the country. Ranked in the grind session as well. And so Orangeville Prep Provincial really up against it. And I'll mention off the top, 0-6 in OSBA play. Fort Erie 7-0. Bottomley, they got to find a way to get him going. Bottomley kick out Ilan Balde. No good. Bottomley gets the rebound. Bottomley trying to shake the Virginia commit, Ishan Sharma. Puts it up for three. Can't get the roll. Rebound Kumu. El Khatib switches to his left hand. Little floater. Jihad El Khatib. So this is my first look at him. An impressive start for El Khatib. His father, perhaps the most decorated player in the history of Lebanese basketball. And so the genes are there. We'll chat about that a little bit more during the broadcast. Ooh, David Bottomley with the shot clock expiring. Big three finally gets Orangeville off the snide with a big three. That won't be his last three of the night. We'll bet on it. So Bottomley, the superstar for this Orangeville Provincial team, just had to deal with a hard screen by Charrier. Walker, a blossoming talent for Orangeville, was up here last week in their game against Crothers. He was outstanding in the loss, but really nice performance last week when I was up here from Orangeville. They're definitely improving. They're getting there. Turnaround doesn't drop for Ye. Bottomley pushes it up to Walker. Sharma trying to hustle back on defense, but Zach Walker drops it in. So for those familiar with Virginia basketball, they only average about 55, 56 points a game. There's Sharma, corner three. And you can see why he's headed to the ACC. Ishan Sharma, big three. But Sharma's got to learn to play some better defense when he gets down to Virginia. That's, like I said, it's defense, maybe the odd shot here and there. Average about 55, 56 points a game. It is all D. Xavier Gentles, easy lay-in. So Orangeville starting to relax, 13-7, creeping back in. Gentles punches that out of bounds. And so I mentioned Fort Erie with a short bench, two guys out injured. Nitsu's been out for several months. And then Faubert just a couple weeks ago injured. Kumu, just effortless hops, an explosive athlete, pulls up for three. Swish! Chris Kumu, and wipes his shoes after. So Kumu, this guy, his recruiting starting to skyrocket. Next year, he's going to be one of the hottest prospects out of this country. Bottomley over top, and it doesn't go, and then ripped away by El Khatib. Sharma, inside to Jackson, muscles his way in. Braden Jackson. Just the size and length on Fort Erie is going to be a nightmare for Orangeville, and a travel called on Bottomley. 18-7, 4:39 to go. And then, so Fort Erie has one 6'9" guy go to the bench, so they bring in a 6'10", Mariel Akuntak, another guy who's recruiting, starting to heat up. Akuntak fielding offers from Seton Hall, Oregon, and expect more to come as the season goes on. Jackson leaves it for Kumu, just wide open, and then barely touches a lick of the mesh. Chris Kumu, that was sweet. So you just can't leave these guys that wide open. They're having uncontested threes with no one around them for 5 or 6 feet. Bottomley, and then he's contested by Kumu, so Bottomley may shoot 3 free throws now. Kumu with his first, 21-7. Fort Erie, led by Charles Antomakis, former Athlete Institute coach. I believe Charles was here when Lou Gensdorf, I think he coached Lou. When Lou, obviously now with Oklahoma City, I believe that's when Charles was here, that really about 2017, 2018 or so. Went over to Thornley for a year or two, where he's coaching Keyshawn Bartholomew, who eventually went down to Colorado, and Keyshawn now over at Oregon, another former AI player up here. Also, Cassius McNeely was with him on that team that went to Texas A&M. Cassius, I believe, now back in Canada, playing youth sports. I think it was McMaster. Don't quote me, though. So we're also seeing for the first time tonight Adam Ilahabikis, number 4. Just checked in. Kumu. Jackson lost a handle on it, but they're saying he was fouled by Roland Scott Smith. So Jackson is listed as a forward, can play some shooting guard as well. Super long, listed at about 6'8". He's born in 2005, been a part of the Canadian national team program as well. Misses on his first attempt. Can't get it to go. And Jesus, Chris Kumu, just so effortless, so explosive. My goodness. Just watching him jump is a thing of beauty. I wrote an article about Chris about 2 weeks ago. You can check it out on undraftedfreeagent.com. I just said, this guy, he's a freak athlete who just happens to play basketball. I believe if Chris tomorrow decided that, and I wrote this in the article, if he said, you know what, I'm quitting basketball tomorrow, I'm going to play football, he'd be one of the most highly recruited football players out of Canada, or soccer, volleyball, you name it. He's just an explosive athlete. And then Wooters, hey, welcome to the game. Evan Wooters, big 3. Much needed for Orangeville. Jackson El-Khatib, he had a wide open look, didn't want it. A Kuntak setting the screen for Kumo's step back. And in and out, doesn't drop. El-Khatib. Ilahabikis doesn't go. Wide open ahead for Wooters. He's got Jackson, and he just swallows him up from behind. Braden Jackson, big block. Wooters could hear the footsteps of Jackson behind him, and he swallowed him up, pinned the ball against the glass. Big block. So Jihad El-Khatib will inbound. We've yet to see his brother, Hadi. Jihad a 2024. His younger brother a 2025. They play internationally for Turkey. Parents from Lebanon. And then got Turkish citizenship and a travel on Tristan Lewis. So playing for Turkey, and we got a time out of the floor for Fort Erie. So appreciate you guys tuning in here on the Orangeville Prep YouTube stream. I'm Chris McKee. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget, hit me up on Twitter. Any issues with sound, at Mr. McKee, MRMCKEE. I cannot see any of the YouTube comments. So any issues, if I'm too loud, too low, anything, too annoying. If I'm too annoying, I don't want to hear from you, but deal with it. And then you can also check out my basketball Instagram, undrafted_FA. I don't really check that one during the games, but I will be posting some highlights, hopefully get some interviews with some of these Fort Erie players post-game, chat about their recruiting and where they're at. So Sharma was surprised, well, in a way, a little bit surprised to see Ishan commit to Virginia. I'd seen him take a few visits to Yale. I know Harvard was in the mix. I had spoken to him 2 years ago at the OSBA championships. That's when Leonard Miller was at Fort Erie. Leonard, of course, now playing in the NBA with the Minnesota Timberwolves out of this program here, Fort Erie. And Sharma was telling me about his interest that he wanted to play Ivy League hoops. Now, Virginia, an outstanding academic school, really good. Not far behind Ivy League, but also the basketball in the ACC significantly better than what you'd get in the Ivy League hoops. And so basketball a little bit better. It's a slight drop off on education, but to quote Clarice Starling in Silence of the Lambs, I assure you, Virginia is not a charm school. And there's Mariela Akuntak, easy lay-in. Sometimes I impress myself with my references. And there's Zach Walker, speaking of impressive, big three from deep, 25-15. We're seeing Mateo Graham for the first time tonight. Number 5 missed on his first attempt. Rowan Scott-Smith leaves it for Walker, who wisely pulls up. We got Douglas Cameron out there as well, number 12. He's getting his first minutes tonight. So Orangeville going deep into their bench. A lot of guys going to get some minutes. That's one of the ways they can compete with Fort Erie. Try to run them out. They've got a really short bench. Just 4 guys on their bench right now. Orangeville got, about 8. So can try to run them out, push the tempo, see if they can tire out Fort Erie. And Tristan Lewis shooting free throws. Tristan at 2025. This Orangeville Provincial squad, very young. A lot of room to grow. They're improving week by week, which is great to see. And then for the first time tonight, we're going to see Hadi El Khatib. So both El Khatib brothers out there, both rocking the lime green Oregon Duck color shoes. Graham. There's Hadi. Jihad El Khatib. Charrier back on the floor, then off the glass. Charrier. So Fort Erie, just an embarrassment of riches as far as talent and size. Stolen by Ye. And the big man is going to go coast to coast. Oh, I wanted him to take that to the hoop. I don't get to see him dribble too often. And then after a quick substitution, David Bottomley and Ilan Balde check back in for Wooters and Rowan Scott-Smith. El Khatib, lefty. Graham directing traffic inside to Hadi El Khatib. Kick out. And Ilahabikis missed on his attempt. Looked like a 2. He was inside the line. Wouldn't have counted for 3. 27-16, 51.7 to go first quarter. Really fast first quarter. It just flew by. Kick out, Lewis for 3. No good. Rebounds, Ilahabikis. Adam from Brampton, previously with Excel, and then blocked Ilan Balde. Bottomley comes away with it, races up the floor, showing his speed. Zach Walker, second 3 of the night. Big time. 27-19, good ball movement from Fort Erie. Ilahabikis up and under, and the tip in. Charrier flew out of nowhere. Nobody in Orangeville boxing out. 10-point lead with the quarter clock expiring, and then a heady play. David Bottomley gets himself to the free throw line with 0.3 left. This is a tough shot. He was trying to get it up, but instead opted to just kind of draw the contact. So very smart from Bottomley. Can't say enough about how impressed I am with this guy's game week after week. Just keeps getting better. Missed on a first one. But yeah, no one boxing out for Orangeville, and you get the big 6'10 guy flying in out of nowhere. Charrier to follow. Bottomley. No good. He gets 3 free throws. Got to get at least 1 here. Bottomley, the 2026, hits 1 of 3. It's .3. And a long heave. Actually, not a bad attempt. It was right directed toward the basket, only about a foot short. So a full court heave by Hadi El Khatib, almost. Well, after 1, Fort Erie 29, Orangeville Prep Provincial 20. So Orangeville, great job. Kind of weathered that early onslaught from Fort Erie, then crept back into the game, and they look really good. So Zach Walker with a couple big threes, allowing Orangeville to hang out a bit, or hang around. You know, I wasn't that hungry when I walked in the gym. I'm seeing all the girls from the Orangeville women's team eating their dinners. They get the nice catered meals for them, and I could smell it as one of the girls walked by with their food, and I was like, oh my God, now I'm starving. Long drive for me from Pickering up to the Athlete Institute. It was about 90 minutes or so, maybe a little longer. Wasn't too bad. I had to take a little bit. There was a big accident on the 401 westbound right at Victoria Park before the 404. So I cut through Markham, kind of weaved through 16th Avenue, and got to the 404 and then headed up. Listened to some American Scandal podcast. I was listening to the Aaron Hernandez one, the former New England Patriots player, was convicted of murder and threw his whole career away over nothing. So I was listening to American Scandal podcast on that, and then just jamming to some tunes along the way. Somehow I started listening to The Doors. I skimmed on one of the classic rock stations. Normally I listen to hip-hop, but somehow got sucked into The Doors, and it was awesome. Highly recommended movie, The Doors, by Oliver Stone, early 90s. It's a good movie. Kind of encapsulates everything about the band, 60s psychedelic band. Val Kilmer plays Jim Morrison in it, so check that out. It's my movie recommendation of the day. So Orangeville, you know, I saw the Orangeville Provincial guys before the game coming out after a chat with their coach, Dave Barrow, and they were pumped. Felt confident. You could see there was a good vibe amongst the boys. Ready to take on Goliath here, the 7-0 Fort Erie Red. We're seeing Carson Hale for the first time tonight, number 7. Really long forward. Had a really impressive game last week up here. Hopefully he can replicate that tonight. Wooters in the corner, why not? Doesn't drop for him, unlucky. Rebounds, Jihad El Khatib. Ishan Sharma, for the future Virginia Cavalier, Jackson, and oh my goodness, Charrier off the feed from Jackson and hammers it away. So Charrier having a night already. Wooters, got to get him revved up. And he got 1-3. Ooh, shot clock's about to expire. Bottomley from half. And it didn't go, and it's going to be a turnover because it didn't hit rim. So big shout out to my guy Raymond, Kevin Kovacic's dad. Raymond, if you are listening out there on the YouTube stream, I was giving a big shout out to Kevin last week after announcing his commitment to North Alabama. So love seeing that. Kevin, a former Orangeville guy. Charrier, easy lay-in, up and under. He's dominating tonight. I love to see that. So you got a big guy here, huge height advantage. I think Orangeville's biggest guy might be about 6'5". And Char's going, what, 6'9", 6'10". Oh, yeah, and just mugged. They tackled Bottomley, both Sharma and Kumu. Well, we know the college football playoffs were announced last night. Some of those guys could take a lesson in tackling from Kumu and Sharma there as they rip down Bottomley. A lot of controversy with that college football top 4. I'm in agreement with it. I don't think Florida State should have got in. Balde, spin move, and drew the contact. It's got to be a foul. It is. It is. Yeah, he did a good job of drawing the contact. If the defender didn't jump, if he had just stayed there with his hand in the air, it wouldn't have been a foul, but because he jumped, you're going to get that call every time. Balde, one of the youngsters. Again, one of those Orangeville guys just getting better week after week. The gym starting to file in. That traffic a little hectic always. 6 o'clock tip-off for those coming up from the Toronto area or even those coming in from Fort Erie. That'd be a nightmare drive in this weather. Little light snow falling up here in Orangeville, but nothing sticking to the ground. Clear as day in the Toronto area. Jackson's wide open. Way off. Bottomley comes away with it. So this is going to be a good battle for Bottomley. Going up against a guard like Kumu, just so quick, so fast, with Bottomley hanging no problem. Balde! Ilan Balde for 3. 33-25. And then Kumu skates through everyone, and it's going to count. And 1. Chris Kumu. So you see how effortless it is for him just to skate through everyone. So Bottomley last week up here against United Scholastic, that's who they played. I was forgetting who. He had to go up against Romel Russell, another veteran guard in the OSBA, and then now going up against Kumu. So this guy, Bottomley, he's getting the battles I think he needs. It's going to make him a much better player. Kumu hesitated for a sec, and he shouldn't have, because he had all day. And then Jackson underneath, and Ye's fouled, goes to the ground hard. So Char, another one of those guys that's played for the Canadian national team. Plays his AAU ball for U-Play. This is where big guys got to make their money, getting free throws. One of 2 for Char. Wooters. 36-20. You know, he hit that free throw. They didn't change the score. I thought it should have been 37. Well, it's I don't know what it is on the scoreboard on your screen, but the scoreboard in here, 36-25. A wrestling match. Wooters picks it up, looks good. Bingo! Evan Wooters. So Orangeville rain in threes tonight, which they needed. And there's a vibe on that Orangeville bench. Loving the energy from the boys tonight. You know, I talked about the top. Fort Erie 7-0. Orangeville 0-6, but Orangeville had no intentions of just rolling over tonight. These boys came to fight, came to play. So Wooters, huge contributions tonight. That's 2 threes, and that's what I talked about this a couple weeks ago. You know, first couple games, all David Bottomley. Well, that's great for one player, but some other guys got to start getting into the mix, and now we're seeing Zach Walker play well. And Charles Hantomakis is just giving it to his team right now. That's why I love Charles, man. He puts it all out there. I've seen him ejected from this gym a couple times. I think he got punted last year in grind session when they were up here, and a couple times when he was coaching AI. So I don't think he's too impressed with the defensive effort for his players tonight, and he's laying into them. So, yeah, talking about Orangeville, you know, it has to come from other guys. So tonight, we've already seen some shots from Zach Walker. Love it. Evan Wooters now contributing 2 threes. Elam Balde getting into the mix as well past couple weeks. Xavier Gentles also getting into the mix. Xavier, he's got his work cut out for him tonight, playing the 5 against some of these boys on Fort Erie. And then I think it's Balde with the foul. Thought it might have been on David, but it's not. So 7:10 to go. 36-28, Fort Erie. Well, I thought if Orangeville was going to be in this one, they got to hit threes, and they're doing it. So check that off. Kumu wide open, take it. They got to come out and play him. I know he can blow by people, but you can't just let him sit there and take shots like that. Wooters, why not? Give him a heat check. Ooh, Bottomley saved that. Almost an over and back. So they're trying to double Bottomley. Shot clock at 5. He's got to get it up soon. He recognizes, does. It hits rim. And who was that? Muka with the rebound. Duncan Muka. And palming called on Balde. Orangeville guys, take a little deep breath. You can see they're playing really tense. You know, I don't think they have to be perfect tonight, but they certainly have to limit mistakes like that in order for them to have a chance at beating Fort Erie tonight. Well, hey, we saw it in the NCAA tournament, number 16 seed, Fairleigh Dickinson, who didn't even win their conference and got in because the team Merrimack that won it, they were still transitioning from being a D2, so they weren't allowed to go. And then they show up and beat the number 1 team in the country in Purdue. So never say never. And Orangeville playing with that kind of vibe tonight. Play loose, play free, nothing to lose. 6:02 to go in the half. Zach Walker guarded by Kumu. Wooters. Balde trying to shake some defenders. Shot clock at 5, 4. And Walker, a little ice cream scoop. Oh, Zach Walker, love it. Just as the shot clock expires, milk the clock. Keep the ball out of Fort Erie's hands. I love it. And we got a 6-point ball game, 36-30. And Braden Jackson back the other way. We'll just reaching the 5-minute mark coming up. Balde for 3. Swish from deep. Elam Balde. Oh, I'm loving this. 38-33. Orangeville raining threes. Jackson. And a little turnaround jump shot. Braden Jackson silences the Orangeville crowd. Wooters, why not? Hey, he should have jumped into Kumu because he had him off his feet. They got to learn that one. So Kumu leaped in the air. If Wooters had just jumped into him, he would have had 3 free throws. So I like the philosophy of Orangeville. Take your shots with about less than 5 seconds left on the shot clock if you can. Don't allow opportunities for Fort Erie. Pushed ahead. Jihad Al-Khatib hammers it down with his left hand. Quick response for Fort Erie. Balde up and under, no good. And then denied. Mariela Kuntak, big block. El Khatib. Ooh! And he leaped from just inside the free throw line, faked the pass to Kumu, and then over top. Wow, that would have been sweet, but it didn't drop. So El Khatib showing his little bag of tricks. My first look at him, and then easily telegraphed for Ishan Sharma. And good foul by Balde. Overly aggressive. Don't allow the shot by Sharma. So I mentioned Jihad El Khatib, who just had that big dunk. His dad is at Fadi, played for Lebanon. 11-time Lebanese league champ, 4-time Lebanese player of the year. Just 100 different accolades. If you go look at his Wikipedia page I was checking out this afternoon, it's an entire 3-page resume of just impressive stats. And so genetics kind to the El Khatib brothers. Coming over to play at Fort Erie. So we got a good one, folks. 42-33, Orangeville, a number of threes. It's coming from all sorts of different angles. Zach Walker, Evan Wooters, Bottomley's getting there, Balde, all of them. So it's refreshing to see. You know, I think the first couple games, the boys were just so tense, so tight. I think, you know, just let them play. This, like I said, 0-6 right now. Now, you can't just be a free-for-all, that they're putting up silly shots. I think certainly stop looking for that perfect shot and just take a shot. So appreciate you tuning in tonight. Don't forget, click subscribe to the Orangeville YouTube stream. Stay up to date on all things Orangeville. Also hit them up on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Drop a follow, whatever your preferred social media channel is. Orangeville Prep, hit them up. Also, drop a follow to our ladies program, Orangeville Prep WBB. Sharma misses on his first attempt. Ishan, it's a 2024 from Milton, Ontario. Mentioned off the top, he's going to play for Tony Bennett down with the Virginia Cavaliers. He's been a part of the Canadian national team program for several years right now. Rated as a 3-star recruit by 24/7. This guy, you know, as lethal a three-point shooter in the country. Now he's not playing in Canada right now. Andrew Urosevic playing down in Arizona, but a kid that played at Ridley last year. I think he's the best three-point shooter in the country. David Popa over at Hodan in there. Young kid, Javion Tyndale, who's like a 2027 at Royal Crown, starting to get in that combo. Rowan Scott-Smith, nice lay-in, fresh off the bench. So again, the Orangeville contributions coming from a lot of different guys. I'm loving it. Kumu directing traffic. Sharma looking for his shot. Had it, didn't want it. And they're trying to feed it into a Kuntak. And easy lay-in, Mariel Kuntak. A Kuntak at 18 points, 16 rebounds, in 5 blocks in a grind session game a couple weeks ago against Winston-Salem. Of course, the grind session, the North American League. Well, a couple years ago, Orangeville was the only Canadian team in the grind session. Now a bunch, Fort Erie one of them. I saw they were ranked about 8th or 9th in the latest grind session poll I saw on Twitter. Wide open El Khatib. He doesn't get the roll. Good ball movement from Fort Erie. It's like Orangeville's going to give them that three-point shot, it looks. They've just decided, well, you got to pick your poison. It looks like they want to try to shut down Fort Erie's big men and try to double team some of them. Balde missed. Yeah, it looks like Muka in there having a battle. Well, possession arrow on that. Going to favor Fort Erie. So Charrier in for a Kuntak. So Char having a big first half right now. 2, 4, 6, 8. He's got at least 8. I don't count his free throws, so he might have about 10 right now. 1:50 to go in the first half. Chris Kumu, ball in hand. So we've seen Kumu's athleticism. Can jump out the gym. He could probably dunk if the rim was on the top of the basket. Sharma misses. Kumu sneaks in, rips it away. And no good. And, good hustle play from Charrier, diving on the ground to rip it away. Let's see whose ball it's going to be. It's going to be Orangeville ball. So Rowan Scott-Smith will inbound. Rowan looking for help. Finally, Walker. You got to hurry and get this ball over. A little too cash. Does get it over. Walker pull-up jump shot. In and out. Rebound, Jihad Al-Khatib. Kumu showing his handle. Al-Khatib, kick out. Kumu wide open. Bingo, Chris Kumu. I don't know why, but they're leaving Kumu wide open. And he's like, okay, I'll take it. Bottomley. It's funny, he's got 1-3 tonight. It's coming from everyone else. Bottomley. And it looks like a little hand check foul maybe against Bottomley. So that was on Al-Khatib. And not a shooting foul, but Orangeville will inbound. 42.1 to go. Big shout to my guy Josh Milliken. And that ball, I've never seen that in my life. It's sitting on top of the rim. That's impressive. Oh. Well, Sharma. Ishan's got the 1-3. They got to rev him up. Braden Jackson. A Kuntak baseline jumper. Tipped in by Al-Khatib. 10 seconds left. So Rowan Scott-Smith got to race up. Walker. 3, 2, 1. Bottomley, yes! As time expires, so a much-needed 3 as we go to half. David Bottomley. So at the end of 2 quarters, we're going to half. Fort Erie 50, Orangeville Prep 38, so a big-time 3 as we go to the break. And so we're going to take a 10-minute commercial, and we'll be back for the start of the second half. Appreciate you tuning in. We'll check 1-2. We'll welcome back OSBA men's action between Fort Erie in the black uniforms with red and white trim and the hometown Orangeville Prep Bears. White jerseys, black and silver trim. I'm Chris McKee. Appreciate you tuning in. So your first half leaders, Chris Kumu with 15 points for Fort Erie. David Bottomley leads Orangeville with 10. And that's Braden Jackson. Easy lay-in to start things off. So Orangeville did an outstanding job shooting threes in the first half. Got to keep that up. There's Bottomley. Kick out. Cassidy Garrick drives. Oh, almost threw it away. Got lucky there. Bottomley trying to find his shot. Puts it up. Hits rim. And, ooh, tipped away by El Khatib. Here comes Fort Erie. Braden Jackson, easy lay-in. Braden Jackson, good start to the second half. So Jackson, none of his baskets spectacular tonight, just consistent so far. Bottomley, I mean, if you can shake Chris Kumu, that is impressive. He just lost the handle on a little there. Feed inside to Gentles. Big man couldn't come away with it. Braden Jackson scoops it up. Sharma, spot-up shooter. Doesn't go. And Sharma, which has been a part of Team Canada, one of the best pure shooters in this country. And Bottomley, you know what? It wasn't a great pass, but Cassidy Garrick sitting there staring at it, waiting for, well, that was a foot away from me, so I'm not going to go for it. I don't like that effort. So Orangeville wants a timeout, settle things down, 54-38. I'm getting reports we're having some issues with the camera. Again, I don't operate the camera. Of text Mark, who does operate that stuff, so hopefully whatever issue they can get corrected. I'm just up here in the booth calling the games. Appreciate you tuning in. So I didn't, thankfully, Fort Erie's up on the second floor. I didn't get to hear what was going on in their dressing room. I don't imagine it was too good. They were really late coming out of the dressing room, only with about 15, 20 seconds left on the intermission clock did they walk out. So you know Charles Antomakis giving them an earful. They're offensively, Fort Erie, excellent. Their defensive effort was a little lacking, and then Orangeville's three-point shooting, amazing. So almost a perfect storm, allowing Orangeville to hang. Mentioned off the top, Fort Erie 7-0 in OSBA. Orangeville Provincial 0-6. So this is a true David and Goliath matchup. And Orangeville doing a great job sticking around and causing fits for Fort Erie right now. That's Charrier, had a wide open look, didn't want it. And it looks like someone fouled Sharma. I didn't see who it was. So it's on Bottomley. I like that we have the in-house announcer because I can tell who's the fouls are. Normally, it's too far away for me to hear. Kumu, he's wide open again. I don't know why he didn't take it. El Khatib kick out. Nice pass for Braden Jackson. Bingo! A little splash points, Braden Jackson. Finally, a spectacular basket for him. He's had a bunch of easy lay-ins, and then big three for Braden. And foul on Kumu. Mention off the top, Braden fielding offers from Buffalo, Stonehill, Arkansas State, Sam Houston State, the Bearcats. Bottomley, no good. Rebound Jackson. Sharma, with 13 now. I don't have the stats in front of me. Big thanks to Stacy over at the scores table, who texts me the halftime scores, but I don't get the regular updates like the guys on TV get. Roland Scott Smith. Braden Jackson now for Fort Erie. Jackson wants to go coast to coast, kick out. Sharma, nice little pass. Charrier showing the range for three. You know, he's had a couple opportunities for three earlier and passed them up. And this time says he's too wide open, so why not? Roland Scott Smith tried to respond. So Orangeville needs a basket here, big time. Not let this out of bounds. Braden Jackson and one. So he drew the contact. And then an easy layup. I wouldn't say easy, but he made it look easy. So Jackson, you wonder, some of the guys who've already committed, you know, what's their motivation now? Obviously they want to win a championship, but what's their personal motivation? It gets a little, you know, you can kind of think mentally, you know, Ishan Sharma, is he already in Virginia? You know, some of these guys. That's going to be Charles Antomakis' challenge over the next couple of weeks. I've seen it, you know, here over the years with the Orangeville guys. Obviously, you go back to that 2019-20 team when we had, I think, 10 or 11 guys commit to the NCAA, and so some of them, you could see the effort wasn't as intense once they got that scholarship confirmation. You got to keep them motivated. Now, come playoff time, that all changes. And so that's going to be Fort Erie's challenge moving ahead. Little floater, Jihad Al-Khatib doesn't go. And Braden Jackson again. He's having a night. Got to have a conversation with him post-game if I can. Lewis. Ilan Balde. This little pump fake. Swish. Ilan Balde. Much needed three for Orangeville. 67-41. And a travel there called on Kumu. Yeah, that could have went either way. But finally, Orangeville gets a break. So I got a message. We're having some camera issues. I don't know if what you're seeing at home. If you are, hit me up on Twitter at Mr. McKee. And then finally, that was Zach Walker. So Zach, this kid can shoot, man. Zach just a 2027. What a bright future. You know, a lot of people talking Javion Tyndale in the class of 2027. How about Zach Walker? 67-44. Stolen, Tristan Lewis, and then denied. Braden Jackson with a foul call. So Lewis was going dunk. I would have liked to seen him maybe go lay-in or try to use his body, but he wanted that highlight reel. And he'll shoot some free throws. Tristan Lewis, 2025 with Orangeville. So appreciate you tuning in. Always a pleasure to be up here in Orangeville calling these games. This is season number 7 for me, I think. 6 or 7. Lost track. I also do Canadian Premier League soccer. Well, sometimes I always get somebody that wants to be snarky. Well, all you do is high school basketball. No, I do professional soccer for Fox Sports in the United States. And so, thanks. Stolen by Wooters. Nice try, though. And then denied. Sharma swallows up Wooters. Yeah, I had one of the opposing team's dads last year slagging me in my inbox. I'm like, I do professional sports. I just love doing this. my career dream still to do NCAA hoops, which I haven't. I've done CEBL games for CBC and TSN. Oh, Zach Walker, delicious, ridiculous. Just faked out 2 Fort Erie defenders and then goes under. Ooh, and then a good foul by Lewis because Mario Lakuntak was coming with a full head of steam and was about to destroy the rim. So good foul. So I want to petition whoever's listening. It would be Jesse, Mark, Larry Blunt. I need some new Orangeville T-shirts or hoodies. I'm still wearing the same hoodie I got in 2019 when I won the March Madness pool for Orangeville. And my T-shirts are all about 2 or 3 years old. I lost one good one, and now I'm down to one that's about 3 or 4 years old. So I'm lobbying for some new Orangeville T-shirts or a hoodie XL. If someone can make that happen, it'd be wonderful. There's El Khatib. Jackson had a wide open look, didn't want it, passed it up. Sharma kicks out. Jackson take the 3. Doesn't go. Rebound. That's Charrier. Emphatic. Fort Erie starting to flex their muscle. (71-48). So this one starting to get away from Orangeville. Fort Erie has come out after a mediocre first half. Like I said, offensively they're fine. Defensively, not as tight as their coaching staff would like. Walker, he's showing what he's got. Just getting better week after week. And that's why they have this provincial squad, because you got kids like Walker and Bottomley. Wooters, as the clock was expiring, hits rim. It's going to be a turnover. You know, kids like Walker and Bottomley that certainly have the skill to play on the national team, but, you know, they're so young they'd be buried on the bench. And so I think it's best for them to play now. At some point, like, see them get that call up, get some minutes. For now, just keep hooping. And that one recklessly thrown away by a Kuntak. Wooters take it. He hit a couple threes in the first half. So Evan has got to give him some confidence. Walker, man, he's got a bag of tricks. Love it. Garrick, hey, he didn't call 3, but Cassidy Garrick says thank you. 71-51. And a travel, yeah, Charrier out there tap dancing. Doing his best Fred Astaire impersonation. You know, when the kids go back and watch this, they're going to have to Google who Fred Astaire is. I never make references so people catch it. I make references so only about 1% of the people will catch it. Wooters, and then denied. Charrier doing it on both ends of the floor. And it looks like he knocked it off Wooters, so it's going to be Fort Erie ball. Jackson's been huge tonight. Braden Action Jackson. 2 nights ago, I was watching Carl Weathers as Action Jackson, El Khatib, and then there's Charrier, easy lay-in, cleaning up mess. Walker and a kickball on, I think it might have been on Sharma. So yeah, the movie channels, I get Bell 5 at home, and the movie channels, which are like the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s movies between channel 315 to like 320. They're free every December, which is great. And so I've been watching horribly horribly amazing 80s movies over the past week. And I was watching Action Jackson, which is Carl Weathers, who, for those familiar, played Apollo Creed in the Rocky movies. Ball day, misses. Here's Braden Jackson. He's got to grow that mustache like Carl Weathers, and it's a wrap. They just traveled. In the 80s, man, the ladies love those mustaches. I'm incapable of growing a mustache. Hopefully Braden's not. $1:44 to go, third quarter. All Fort Erie in this third quarter. Rowan Scott-Smith. Carson Hale out there. I think, his length would be useful tonight. Shot clock winding down Bottomley. Kick out to Scott-Smith. Bingo! As the shot clock expires, Rowan Scott-Smith. Swish. 73-54. Orangeville not going away yet. Jackson wide open. You had the three. Take it, man. Not a fan of that. There you go. Now you got it. Well, Charrier, and knocked out of bounds, still be Fort Erie ball. So Ye's gassed. He wants a change. Well, we haven't seen the two Twin Towers together out there offering in Akuntak and Ye. I did the play-by-play for the BioSteel Next One's game, and the two of them were on opposite teams. And it was a great battle all night because, these guys practice against each other every day for the past couple of years, and they were going at it in the game to get against each other. It was cool to see. Sharma, it's going to be for two. Foot was on the line. Akuntak. And dribbled it out of bounds. Turnover. So big shout out to Shamar Rattan-Mays, Orangeville Prep legend, now at UNC Wilmington. Little floater from Bottomley. Shamar, the point guard here for 4 or 5 years. His UNC Wilmington squad went into Rupp Arena in Kentucky and beat Kentucky this week, which is huge. That UNC Wilmington is a really good team. Don't sleep on them. And don't sleep on Jihad El-Khatib. Big three. And he gives the wink and the guns after. The game clock at 3. Bottomley recognizes. And that was such a tough shot, but it didn't drop for him. So at the end of 3, Fort Erie leads 76-54. Created a little bit of separation there in the third quarter, courtesy of Braden Jackson and Charrier. Well, any golf fans out there, I also have a golf show, This Week in Golf, which is currently airing right now on Saga 960. It airs every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. You can also check it out on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, all the usual online streaming sites. So, yeah, it looks like we are still having some sort of camera issues because we got people in here working on it right now.
So, the HDMI that's in here, does that go into the actual camera?
Yeah, well, there's like a one that's plugged into the camera right now. Switch it for the other one that's there. Try to play the camera.
So we've got this robotic camera. So usually we used to have volunteers that did the camera, and then they switched to a robotic camera for this season, and it's been a nightmare. We had Josiah Francis from United Scholastic up here who's going to play for Fairleigh Dickinson in the NCAA. He had the best dunk I've ever seen in this gym. He did the Vince Carter from the 2000 whatever slam dunk competition where he went between his legs, and he did that in a game, not on camera. A couple other big dunks not on camera. Timothy Easy couple weeks ago, and Bill Carruthers had some other crazy dunks, and again didn't catch it. It's robotically operated, like it catches movement, but if the play's down the other end, the camera instinctively just goes where all the bodies are, and it's missing so much, and it's just been a nightmare. Technology, not all technological advancements are good. Sometimes old school is better. So if there is issues out there, my apologies. We've got some of our staff trying to work on it right now. Well, back to it. Start of the fourth quarter. Fort Erie 76, Orangeville 54. Chris McKee, we got a good one here. Seeing some impressive feats of athleticism from some of these guys. There's Carson Hale, little floater. 20-point lead, Fort Erie. And a little turnaround, Akuntak gets his own rebounds, and just the 6'10 Akuntak, too much for Orangeville, and then they're asleep at the wheel, have their pocket picked by El Khatib, and then Kumu comes away with it, and now Chris Kumu fouled. So Kumu had 15 at the half, and then he started off with a 3. So Kumu led Team Quebec to the U17 National Championships last year. He's got offers from Arizona State and George Mason. Was also part of that BioSteel next one's games. I have a feeling he'll be part of the main BioSteel. Well, actually, it's not BioSteel anymore. It's just the All-Canadian games because I think BioSteel went under. So they filed for bankruptcy a couple months ago. There's Scott Smith, attacks, doesn't drop for him. Rebound, Mariel Akuntak. Kumu. It's like he just glides out there. It's almost like he's about a foot off the ground. And one, Chris Kumu on cue. They're seeing Carson Hill as 5? Really? He hasn't had that many minutes to get 5. Well, I don't know what's going on. A little timeout. Well, Kumu at the line. Here we go. Trying to convert that three-point play. Finished on the lay-in. And he does. And Bottomley denied by Kumu, and then Bottomley tried to throw it off Kumu. It was clever, and what a pass. Oh my goodness, Ishan Sharma. So the pass from Kumu, the save from Jackson, and then the 3 from Sharma. Wow, elite, elite. That's what Fort Erie is. Like I said, I have to top this Fort Erie squad. I think it's the best team in the country. It's one of the best teams to ever play in the OSBA. I think some of our Orangeville boys from a couple of years, you go back to 2017, 18, 19, up there with some of the greatest OSBA teams. We got the banners here to prove it. Well, this Fort Erie squad certainly in that conversation. Roll Crown last year was one of them, and that's who Fort Erie fell short to in the OSBA championship. Roll Crown definitely going to be in the mix again this season. Did a couple of their games. I think Orangeville National Squad over at Roll Crown next week. I'm probably going to go watch. If I'm not, they haven't asked me to call the game, but the OSBA sometimes reaches out to me last minute. If Anthony Bennett, if you're out there in the OSBA, I would love to call that Roll Crown Orangeville game in Scarborough next week. So let me know. Lobbying for that. Roll Crown's like 10, 12 minutes from my house. That's why I like, and Orangeville's about 2 hours. So selfishly hoping I can do it. Yeah. Well, huge lead for Fort Erie, but Orangeville, I love, they still got fight. These guys are still playing with purpose, and that's important. Fort Erie doing the same as well. Mentioned Fort Erie, some injury issues, Walker. And I like the idea, it just didn't work. So mention off the top, Olivier Faubert, the Wyoming commit. Looks like he's got a broken foot. He's in a cast and crutches. So he's out for probably for the season, you would think. Well, yeah, I mean, also, if you're him, why are you rushing back? You already got your commitment. So I would say Faubert done for the year. Kumu kicked that away. And then Christian Nitu, the big 6'11" Indiana State commit. And finally, we see Chris Kumu is human with an air ball. You know, Kumu, you wonder, I don't know him. I've chatted with the kid. He seems like a great kid. Sometimes there's guys with that athleticism that I don't know what their work ethic is like. And I'm not saying Chris got a bad work. I have no idea. But sometimes they rely just on their athleticism. And then when work ethic and that athleticism comes together as one, that's when it's really special. And so Chris, if you're watching, I'm not, if you can match the work ethic of maybe some of the other guys with lesser physical gifts, that's when special things happen. Oh, man. Sharma. Speaking of work ethic, Sharma's going to get a lesson in defense. He's going to have to, I think he's going to have to get in a little bit better shape. Not that he's in bad shape. There's Braden Jackson for three. He's hitting them from everywhere. But you want to play for Virginia, you better be in shape because those boys play 40 minutes of defense nonstop. And Lewis looking for the foul. I thought he was foul. It looks like he took a shot on the arm. That's what he's telling the refs. My arm was slapped. And time it on the floor.
Ladies and gentlemen, just put this in your calendars and your phones. On Tuesday, December 19th at 5 p.m., Orangeville women will be playing against Bond Academy. And at 7 p.m. the same night, the Orangeville Academy will play against
Oh, yeah, we got to a double header December 19th. I'll be back up here calling out. I'm looking for, you know what, we haven't had too many double headers. I kind of prefer it sometimes because you make the drive all the way up here. You might as well call two games instead of one. And so we're going to have the Orangeville ladies game and then the men's game right after. So that's going to be a cool double header December 19th. And I know, I haven't looked at my schedule, but I know there's a game next week. I'm up here again, I believe. So if not, I'll be back here for the 19th. I think that's the day my son comes home from university, the 18th or 19th. I hope he comes the 18th so I can pick him up, because if not, I got to get someone else to pick him up. flying in from Sault Ste. Marie. Home for Christmas. So Fort Erie, obviously dominant, but number of guys on Orangeville showing they can hang with the best players in the country. That's got to build confidence. Let's see, a lot of these guys, again, 2026s, 27s, going against future NCAA players. There's Jihad El-Khatib, easy lay-in. 91-56. El-Khatib again, lovely bounce pass. And Akuntak with the lay-in. So El-Khatib, he's almost that prototypical, FIBA player, can shoot from three, really crafty. Has all these little nifty tricks. Excellent passer. And he's got great size as well. Big boy, listed at 6'9". That's been one of the things of urgencies. We're going to see Will Abbas for the first time tonight. 7-footer, a 2025 from Halifax. Got to meet his dad, Alan, tonight for the first time, so big shout out to Pops. His dad played at Ottawa U and Dalhousie. His dad, big dude. He shook my hand. His hand swallowed mine. He's big dude. Will's goes 7 foot, so you know where he gets it from. He's about to check in. And Rowan Scott-Smith hitting free throws.
Now into the game for the Orangeville Bears, number 5, Willow Loss.
Kumu, guarded by Bottomley. Sharma. And you see how quick his trigger is. His feet were barely even set, and he would put it right back up. And it tipped out of bounds by Akuntak, but will still be Orangeville ball. Walker. And Abbas gets his first touch. Walker skating around. Out to Bottomley. Quick trigger as the shot clock was expiring. Bottomley, it's almost like Orangeville gets lost and then they realize, there's 3 seconds left on the shot clock, and they just throw it to Bottomley hoping he could do something. And I think they got to find him better looks than that. I don't think it's fair to David that he's got to be left with chucking up, last second shots, try to beat the shot clock. Well, we just had Mariel Akuntak with an easy lay-in for Fort Erie. Fort Erie trying to hang 100 on Orangeville. Walker, no good. And foul, some bunch of bodies battling in the paint. So that was on Akuntak. His third foul, and Charrier's going to. Well, Char's been sat down for a while. He was really impressive tonight. Walker, don't travel. Wooters, little floater, nice. Evan Wooters. So a lot to be excited about for Evan Wooters tonight. Hit a bunch of big threes. And he's playing with some fight. He's playing with confidence. I didn't see it out of him last week. He looked almost afraid to make a mistake, and you can't play like tonight. He's playing with freedom. He's played really well. All these kids can play at this level. It's just a matter of if the mindset is there for them. If they're feeling good about where they are, and Charrier's feeling really good. He just easy laying and one for the big man.
Fouls on Orangeville's going to apply with Will Ross. That's his first.
Well, I've officially hit. I'm starving. Have to hit. I think I'm going to hit the burrito spot. Highway 9 and Yonge Street in Newmarket on the way home. So the younger El Khabib, Hadi, checks in for a Coon Talk. Hadi at 2025 and Jihad at 2024. Which both play internationally for Turkey. Wooters, no good. Sharma, oh, what a pass for Charrier. It was there. Ye just didn't get a hand on it. Sharma calling for a tip. And, yeah, the referee from the other side is coming saying, I think there was a tip. I think the other ref said, it's 98-59. Chill out. So, again, not in my DMs, but I had one of the refs show up my Twitter timeline after last week's game and then denied Charrier, which is always fun.
Jump ball. Fort Erie possession.
Well, possession arrow in favor of Fort Erie. So Fort Erie going to go to 8-0 in OSBA action. But the problem with them is injuries starting to take their toll. And a lot of basketball, grind session usually over Christmas into early January. So if they can stay healthy, that's going to be their big concern. Jump shot, no good. I wonder if they look to maybe even add another player for the new year. Tristan Lewis goes down. Looks like he might have got one in the face. Yeah, I think he got one in the nose. Is it?
Fouls on Fort Erie's number 11. Charrier with the unsporting foul, which means 2 shots.
Yeah, his nose is bleeding, so he got one in the nose. So get out there with a towel, for God's sakes. All the players are waving, saying, get out here, and thank you. Jeez. Got a kid bleeding on the court, and no one's going out to help him. Well, he's all right. It's just a shot to which sucks. So big shout out to Tristan Lewis, but I think a little worse for wear tonight, but it'll be just fine tomorrow. By the way, one of the most intense pain, I broke my nose years ago. Don't ask how, but I remember I had to go to the hospital and get it reset. And when the doctor reset it, like, oh my God, just the pain. I literally just lay down on the cold floor in the hospital because it just takes away every ounce of energy in your body. So Douglas Cameron shooting some free throws. Looks like there was a foul call for that shot to Lewis. My nose was bleeding today, too. I went running in the cold, and when I came back, I was breathing in that air, that cold air. I go running every day, regardless of the weather, do about 5.5, 6K, and I was really impressed with myself yesterday. I posted this on my personal Instagram. I thought I was gangster because I was out jogging. It was about -2, and I thought I was gangster, and I had 3 layers on, my Under Armour hoodie and a jacket, and this woman jogs by me in a tank top. And I'm like, yeah, I thought I was gangster. She's like, hold my beer. Cassidy Garrick, and then Charrier just absorbs him and a block. So back-to-back blocks for Char. And so, yeah, anytime I think I'm impressed with myself for running in the cold, someone else one-ups you. Literally in a tank top. Unbelievable. No blocking foul. Called on, who's it, Charrier down? Yeah. So 98-59. I was chatting hip-hop with Charles Hantamakis before the game. Said he's a big Method Man and Redman fan. And then Charrier just, he was thinking about the highlight and kicked that out of bounds. And so, yeah, Charles didn't know about my background in hip-hop as Method Man and Redman's agent, a bunch of other guys. So we ended up chatting hip-hop for 10 minutes. So player of the game, it's I would go Braden Jackson. And then for Orangeville, I don't know, Zach Walker, I think, has had a really nice night. Evan Wooters has been really good. Ball in his hand right now. And Abbas just tossed that out of bounds. .141 to go. No one touched the ball. That should be a Fort Erie ball. And you got to love Charles as well. Like, you know, huge lead. Almost a 40-point lead. And he's still arguing for calls with 1:37 to go. It's just in the DNA sometimes, right? Shout out to Kendrick Lamar. That video is still one of the greatest videos I've ever seen in my life. With Don Cheadle in it. Go check that out when the game's done. Kendrick Lamar, DNA. Spin move. And Charrier. What a night he's had. And Fort Erie hits the 100 spot. Garrick. And one, Cassidy Garrick. Orangeville boys still fighting. Just got to get my camera out, hoping to get some post-game interviews with these guys. And Cameron gets his first basket of the night, Douglas Cameron. Under a minute to go. Kumu. Trying to dribble this out. Kumu, and then denied Will Abbas, but Kumu won't be denied the second time. So the 7-footer Abbas got a hand on it, and Kumu got his rebounds. Well, you know, if you're Orangeville, still, look, like I said, the size, you know, and the age difference, some of these guys significant. A lot to be excited about and hold your head high about their performance tonight. Obviously, the scoreboard doesn't really tell it all, but a lot of encouraging signs for these kids. They came to play. None of them sort of seemed overwhelmed with playing a team of this talent. And they came out to fight. They were throwing their punches, took some shots, hitting big shots. And so a tip of the cap to the Orangeville boys for the performance tonight, regardless of the score. And then Fort Erie just showing they are the best team in the country. And there's Duncan Muka. So that'll do it. Fort Erie brings it over half. 102-65. It didn't start off great for Fort Erie, but whatever Charles Hentamac has said at half, the boys came out possessed, and they'll get away with a big-time win. Appreciate you tuning in. So, yeah, it looks like we're not back here until December 19th, and we'll see you then.